Yes, good evening. Welcome back to the channel. Arsenal have just lost away to Porto, 1-0 with an absolute worldie in the 93rd minute. If you're new to the channel, please go down and hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't already, go down, please drop a like. It does absolute wonders to the algorithm. But we are going to be reacting to Porto 1, Arsenal 0 in a game where most Arsenal fans come out and thought, do you know what? Porto home and away is not a bad tie in the Champions League. But let's not forget, Mikel Arteta's home and away record in Europe is not particularly great when you get to the knockout stages. He's been knocked out of European competitions by Olympiacos, by Villarreal, by Sporting Lisbon, and now potentially another Portuguese side in Porto. And Arsenal weren't good at all tonight. They played a very, very strong side. David Raya, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel Zinchenko, Kai Havertz, Odegaard, Rice, Trossard, Martinelli, and Saka was their front three. But they did not register a shot on target. Now, look, Porto definitely had the better chances here. Evan Nilsson and Galeno absolutely cooking. Evan Nilsson must have had 5 nutmegs on his own. And an absolute worldie in the 94th minute from Galeno. Look, David Raya has got more chance getting a hand on the sun. But Arsenal in the Premier League the last 5 games have destroyed teams. 5 goals against Crystal Palace. 5 goals against the likes of Burnley. 5 goals plus against West Ham. Beating Liverpool. Beating Nottingham Forest. They've had a very good run. But there was levels tonight. The technical ability of some of these Porto players. You know, lots of people come out and say the Premier League's pace and power and these European teams are a lot more technical. Tonight, we saw a very technical performance by Porto. When you look at the match stats are very much in Arsenal's favour in terms of possession, in terms of corners, 1 less shot, you know, a lot more passes. But Porto by far had the better chances tonight. By far. And they showed Arsenal tonight what some of these European teams can do. And so far in the Champions League, no team other than Man City against the likes of Copenhagen has really run away from it. It's been very tight games. Lazio Bayern was 1-0. Leipzig Madrid was 1-0. Inter Atletico was 1-0. Napoli drew tonight with Barcelona. And of course, Porto have just beaten Arsenal. But Arsenal weren't good tonight. Deserve to lose. It's all to play for. And unfortunately for Arsenal, they've actually got a couple of nice games in the Premier League to play. The likes of Newcastle at home, which I think they'll win. Brentford at home, which I think they'll win. And Sheffield United away. That should be 9 points if Arsenal want to win the league. But Mikel Arteta's record in Europe in knockout games is not great. And Porto will be going to the Emirates thinking, do you know what? If we just stink our way to this, we could get a 0-0, result here. Villarreal in the knockouts of the Europa League did the same thing. They stunk it out at the Emirates. Arsenal couldn't finish their dinner. Sporting Lisbon scored a worldie from practically the halfway line, then won on penalties. Arsenal have got to be better because tonight they were poor. Odegaard stinking up the gaff. Declan Rice gets a very, very early yellow card, which I think was very harsh. Saka and Martinelli couldn't really get into the game. Trossard was poor tonight as well. Their back four was pretty much settled. And if they come out of the game with a 0-0 draw, do you know what? A lot of people would be saying, do you know what? A 0-0 draw away in the last 16 of the Champions League is a good result. But if you're an Arsenal fan right now, you've got to be furious because to concede like that in the 93rd, 94th minute in a game which they should have put in a better performance, it is a bit of a kick in the teeth. Let's not beat around the bush. It is a kick in the teeth if you're an Arsenal fan. But so a lot of these Portuguese players showed levels today. The fact that flipping Pepe is the same age as Arteta is absolutely insane. They weren't good tonight. Defensively, they were okay. They nullified Porto to a degree. Porto didn't take their chances. Da Costa had a good performance, their goalkeeper. Tottenham are actually heavily linked with him before. Varela had a good performance. Pepe, the attacking midfielder, had a good performance. In terms of Arsenal, they made a few substitutions. Well, actually only one. Probably one of the reasons why they lost the game. They should have brought on the likes of Smith Rowe. Probably could have brought on Reece Nelson earlier. They brought on Jorginho to kind of slow the game down. Arteta, towards the last 15, 20 minutes, was probably playing for a draw, But fair play to the Porto manager because he made 4 chances. He was going for the jugular at the end, and it's a fantastic finish, Gustavo plays a ball in a game that was lacking quality and from 25, 30 yards out, finesses it to the back post, and David Raya has got absolutely zero chance in getting anywhere near that. And overall, you know, it's a good win for Porto, and they will progress going into that Emirates game thinking, do you know what? We can win this game. We can win this. But look, it's a short instant match reaction. Make sure you drop a like on the way out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you all soon. Thank you all for watching. I am out.